a lot on the migrant front, but we've got some financial stuff I wanted to talk about. Because finances are important. Believe me, finances are important. Let's be starting the show in a few minutes, just like a minute, 30 seconds or less. We're going to be starting the show. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you get something out of this show. And if you don't get anything out of this today, I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. Alright, so I'm going to bring the music down here shortly, and we're going to start the show. Yes. Okay, so there you go. There you go. We're going to start the show. Let's see where we're at here. Let me get this queued up here. And the first topic we're going to talk about is banks. And, you know, as we move into February, the end of February, we're going to see a lot of banks issue their year-end reports, okay? Maybe even sooner, but we'll see. We're going to see a lot of bad news come about. And right here, there's an article that came out a couple days ago, 4 days ago, by Bloomberg. And this is one of the major pension funds out of California. There's CalPERS, which is the California Public Union Employee Fund, and then there's CalSTRS, the TRS, which is the Teachers Pension Fund. So this is an interesting article, and you got to read, like I said, folks, you got to be a critical thinker. You have to read between the lines. So this article here is about this pension fund that's going to be getting a loan for $30 billion. That's with a B, okay? The fund itself was worth like $318 billion, so they're getting like about a 10% loan of the fund. And why is that? Well, because some of the investments they have, can you say CMBS, commercial-backed mortgage securities, whose value has plummeted drastically. And who owns those? Banks and pension funds, folks. I've been telling you that for months now, that commercial-backed mortgage securities or bonds, which are plummeting. We're right in the middle of a crash. It's going to get worse this year. Last year's banking crisis was pretty much caused by CMBS issues. So we're going to see it more and more because, I mean, I keep telling you guys, I don't do a lot of videos on it, but I mentioned quite a bit where, you know, I keep seeing in the media, you know, some real estate media and real estate websites that in Chicago, commercial real estate's imploding. There's buildings that are being handed back to the banks left and right, and it's just a continuous progression. And we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars at stake on some of these buildings, and it's happening across the nation. It's just not Chicago. So here we have a pension fund that doesn't want to sell their bonds that they have because they would have to take a huge loss and they'd have to write that off on their books. So instead, they're going to the step of leveraging themselves to the tune of $30 billion. Go figure. Go figure. That they're just digging themselves a bigger hole. They're just digging themselves a bigger hole, folks. And there's another reason to be leery, be watchful of your bank and how it's rated on WeissRatings.com, because you're going to see some banks that are imploding. There's 7 banks that I told you guys about about a week ago in a video It's under the holding company called Bank Shares or Industry Bank Shares. That's it. Industry Bank Shares. There's like 7 banks underneath that holding company in the state of Texas, Fayetteville, Arkansas, but mostly in Texas. So check that video and be careful with your money. Be careful with your money. And I got another article here I wanted to talk about. I'm not a real Susie Orman guy, but I saw this article pop up on my iPad and I thought I should probably mention it, okay? Because it kind of ties in here with pension programs and retirement. Okay, so Susie says parents should be telling kids they are no longer their bank account. Okay, she's saying she did a study. I guess somebody did a study for her, and 65% of parents are still supporting their children, the study says, even up to the age of 40. That is just some crazy numbers. So, according to the study she had done, 65% of parents are still supporting their children even up to the age of 40. 40 years old, and their parents are paying some of their bills. That is crazy. Okay, and here's according to her study, parents shell out an average of $718 a month to help their fully grown children. According to the study, the top 3 items that parents foot the bill for are groceries, housing, which could be help with rent, help with mortgage, or letting their kids live at home, and a cell phone plan. All right. Why is this happening? So yeah, why is this happening? Over half of the parents surveyed said it's due to tough economic climate, and their adult kids need more financial support. And I guess I can understand it. I can understand that, but it's all about choices too, folks. You need to be able to live within your means, okay? So the older you get, the more you should be able to live within your means, and if you're not, someone should tell you you're making some bad and poor choices, and let yourself hang out there to dry at some point. When you're 40 years old, your parents shouldn't be paying your bills for you or giving you money that you're never going to pay back. According to this study, 68% of 25-year-olds were living outside their parents' home in 2021 compared to 84% in 1980. So you're seeing that 25-year-old, the kids, once they get out of college, they're living with their parents, they're milking their parents for all that they can. And sometimes the parents don't mind it. The parents allow this to happen, right? You got to allow it to happen. But the thing is, and here's where I agree with Susie. We have an aging population, and people are finding it harder and harder to save for their own retirement. But when you're paying for your kids on top of that, something's got to give, right? If you're paying $718 a month for your kids, that's $700 that's not going to your retirement account. Okay? And she says here that you need to have enough money in retirement so you can, and you're only going to be able to withdraw 4 to 5% of your nest egg every year. So the less you're putting in your nest egg, the less you're going to be able to take out. And she says you shouldn't take out more than 4 to 5% of that nest egg per year. So I'll let you guys figure out how that works. So like say 4% of $1 million is $40,000. So if you had $1 million in the bank, you're not going to be living high on the hog with 40 grand. So Social Security is going to have to make up the rest of it, and we're at the point now where Social Security may not even be around. I think we're at the point like 2030. They're saying that the trust fund is going to have some cutbacks that they're going to have to make. And here's what she tells these people to tell their kids: I am no longer your bank account. I'm getting to the point where I need my money to support myself. Yeah, right. You are old enough now to go out and figure it out. Now, as I said, I'm not a real advocate of Susie Orman, but she's dead on here. She is dead on here. Susie Orman has figured it out. Orman also encouraged you to cut your expenses so you can aggressively save and reap the rewards of compounding interest in your 401k. And she also says Social Security is not enough to support you in old age, so you may have to kick your kids off the account in order to look out for yourself. There you go. There you go. Straight from Susie Orman's mouth. She cannot be any more correct. And the numbers blow me away here. Paying somebody $700 a month after you raise them, put them through college, and now you still got to pay them. I mean, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. We've lost critical thinking. I know a lot of these college kids got themselves into student loans way above their expectations of their first couple of years of working somewhere, which, I mean, someone should have raised a red flag when that happened. You know, if you're going to school to get a BS in psychology or something, you're going to be making $30,000 a year out of college, and you're going to be, you know, in hock $60,000-$70,000. You got to figure out that that's just not going to work. That's just not going to work. You're either going to have to go to school longer to get like a master's degree or a doctorate, but at that point you're just creating a bigger problem. So you know, like another data point I've seen over and over again: 80% of people's problems are caused by themselves. Okay, let me say that again. 80% of people's problems are caused by themselves. They only have themselves to blame. That goes back to critical thinking. You need to be able to make a decision on your own and critically think through it. That's the best thing, the best skill anyone can teach you, and that you need to possess when you're becoming a college student, if not earlier. I know when I graduated college back in the mid 80s, and I was on my own. My parents didn't support me whatsoever. I had my own car, my own apartment, my own auto insurance. They didn't have cell phones back then, so I didn't have a cell phone plan, but my parents wasn't paying for that either. So I learned a lot. I learned how to live within my means. Okay, if I don't have this stuff, I'm not buying anything. Okay? Or I learned how to use a credit card judiciously, where I put stuff on the credit card that I can afford, and then the next 30 days I can pay it off, and I don't have to pay interest, I don't have to pay fees, and I get free use of somebody's money for 30 days. That's how that's the smart way to do it, folks. But a lot of people don't have the discipline to do that. So I think I'm going to end for today. Doing a little finance video here today. I hope it helps you. Hope it gives you some insight into our banking sector here, which is going to have some problems in 2024. Look for more bank problems, folks. It's inevitable. I saw some videos about the CMBS that's coming due this year, There's a lot of CMBSs that are coming due, and they're going to have a hard time refinancing that stuff, and it's going to fall on the banks and our Fed to figure it out. And we've kicked the can down the road. I don't know if they can kick it some more, but it's not good. The banks got some issues, folks, and you're not seeing very many people talk about it. But I'm here to tell you, watch the quarterly reports as they come out in early to mid February, and you're going to see some banks that are having some issues, and their stock prices are going to start to plummet. So hang in there. Be smart. Be wise with your money. Like, share, and subscribe, folks. We got more video on the channel, Land Cruiser Midwest. Hope you had a great day, and let's get ready for another week. Get ready for 2024. We're right in the middle of it. We're moving forward. That's all we can do. Over and out.